The Saiyan Saga, probably one of the most impactful sagas not in just Dragon Ball but in anime history. From Yamcha's death, Nappa's disrespectful defeat, and the hyped beam clash between Vegeta's Gallic Gun and the Kaioken Goku's Kamehameha. With many people seeing stopping the Saiyan invasion, that being Prince Vegeta and his right-hand man, as a breaking point to one's verse to supplement them as a conversation in the upper echelons in the versus battle community. With this case, I'm going to be replacing Goku for, let's say, he's taking a day longer to get to Earth. And in his absence, the Korean martial artist and the secret reincarnation of Sun Wukong, Jin Mory. Specifically the one at towards the end of the national competition arc, because I think it's the most thematically fitting for that version of Jin to be that version of Saiyan Saga Goku, to help fight on behalf of his planet. So can Jin Mory stop the Saiyans, or will they destroy the very Earth itself? With Jin Mory standing essentially above everyone inside the beginning of the verse within his partial Monkey King state, as just one singular angel is able to tank a composite nuke of 567 nuclear warheads, with an average warhead having a practical amount of 6 megatons of TNT. Taking that value and multiplying it by 567, we see that this composite nuke had the output of 3.402 gigatons of TNT, which is essentially island level. And Jin Mory is able to destroy, by my count, 208 of them in just one go, with just a byproduct of the most casual feat he would perform, with it producing 741.636 gigatons of TNT, or small country level. With this just being the byproduct of the said feat as previously mentioned, as the actual feat in question was him piercing and destroying a portion of the moon. With due to the actual amount of the moon that's destroyed, said feat would grant around 19.971 petatons of TNT, or multi-continental. And one would think that this would be the end of the beginning of series Jin Mory's scaling, except for the actual feat of him moving Yoi from the moon to the Earth. With due to the sheer size, mass, and speed of it, the kinetic energy of it will actually come out to around large planetary levels of energy. And again, this was an uber casual feat of his that he could casually perform without really trying or his intention. Speed being an interesting topic, as they have very interesting speed feats sprinkled out throughout the national competition arc. However, the main one comes from Yori and is traveling from the moon to Earth. The reason for this is that it's so impressive is due to the fact that the Angel's javelins were able to pierce Darwie's shirt, and yes, it's shown to be able to pierce his shirt in the next chapter. With Yori moving actually saving Darwie as the javelin already pierced through the shirt, but was able to prevent it from actually getting to his skin in that time. With shirt thicknesses ranging from least to most thickness, even if you assume it's a low ball, the most thickest average shirt can be, which is 0.015 inches, meaning that the Angel's javelin was able to travel that distance in such a short time. And if we assume that the Angels would have an average human throwing javelin speed, which is extreme low ball as these are divine godly beings, with it reaching 113 kilometers per hour or 11,300 meters per second. Now for the speed equation being speed equals distance divided by time, we have a time frame for the actual javelin throw, or the speed you already needed to travel to get to, being 3.37 times 10 to the negative 8th power in seconds, or 33.7 nanoseconds. Now with the actual distance between the moon and the Earth being 382,500 kilometers, and the already pre-established time frame we found out, the speed would be warranted around 11 quadrillion meters per second, or Jin Mory would have a speed of 37,860,000 times the speed of light, easily in those massively faster than light plus levels of speed. Now for Jin Mory's abilities, despite him only being in the beginning of his career, he quite has a lot of abilities, such as fear manipulation resistances, even on a spiritual level, as shown as Leopold is able to fear hacks people who are used or are spirits while Jin is just fine, as well as his own passive fear manipulation. And due to him eating the divine pellets, he has supernatural willpower as well as death manipulation resistances. He is a master and can do various of things with acupuncture points, as he can null all of his pain for 2 hours straight, and has durability negation with it, as he can make your body implode on itself. And he has his own resistances to durability negation, as he can resist having shockwaves being sent to his brain to rattle it, and has precognition via touch by reading your muscles, has accelerated growth, as he can go from having all of his techniques being neutralized to being developing and negating the other person's with his own techniques again. He can see all the pressure points on one's body and hit them accordingly. He can also add his power null on top of his multiplier, which can currently go up to 8 times his normal power. However, there is a rebound effect for it afterwards, and has his staff Yuri, which can increase its size up to the length of to the earth to the moon and width very largely on his command. Has weather manipulation and lightning manipulation with Gindu Udon, with it being a cloud the size of a country if not a continent. And due to him being a god, he has law manipulation, as all gods have shown the ability or just do have law manipulation, as well as soul manipulation and erasure, as he can interact with the key, which is the 9 tails of soul, as well as stated that it was destroyed when Jin Mory destroyed it along with GL when he killed him. Kid Goku by the 22nd Budokai tournament is consistently referenced to have a power level of 180 in many official medias. This is important as Master Roshi, someone with a power level of 180 as well, is able to destroy the moon. And due to how fast and violent the explosion was, it's calculated at large planetary levels of power. With this being consistent as in the El Manga Legendario, it states that said Roshi is stronger than beings who can casually destroy planets without batting an eye, which is consistent to his own large planetary showing. And yes, El Manga Legendario is an official source as it's officially licensed and published by Shueisha. And as I've already established, it doesn't contradict the original source material, so it's viable. This also brings more consistency as King Piccolo would state that he could easily destroy the planet, contributing to the large planetary consistency, making Kid Goku consistently large planetary. And with speed being just as easy as in the 22nd Budokai, Goku is shown to be able to move after Tien launches his solar flare, and grab Roshi's sunglasses and move back to the exact same spot before it hits him, with this being more shown blatant inside the anime. This is important as in the Daizenshu it states that the solar flare is light that launches out, even again in El Manga Legendario that it states that it's a flash of light, making it consistent that the solar flare is a speed of light attack. Now with said feat being calculated upwards of 1.685 times the speed of light, or FTL ranges of speed, and this being consistent as Goku is shown to be able to dodge and react to King Piccolo's blasts, which are stated to be beams of light. Overall, putting Kid Goku at large planetary attack potency with FTL speeds. With Saiyan Saga scaling essentially coming from Vegeta in terms of AP, as even as a child he is stated to have surpassed his father King Vegeta, who he's been shown to be able to casually destroy 3 planets at once with a wave of his hand, and due to the actual size of the explosion, it's been calculated upwards of dwarf star level, nigh small star level actually, already leaps and bounds beyond OG Dragon Ball. However, Vegeta has his own showing of supplementing him above his father in terms of magnitude, as with just one finger he's able to destroy planet Arlia along with its moon. And due to how big and fast the explosion was, the actual feat's being calculated at essentially large star level, with this power being surprising to most. However, there's even more consistency to this, but first we need to establish the validity of the Dragon Ball Z RPG Adventure Anime Guide. With the DBZ RPG Anime Adventure Guides being officially licensed by Toei and Shueisha, it's even stated that they gain all their information from the anime manga guide and data books, and even Akira Toriyama's own sketches and manga cover pieces. Showing this isn't some interpretation of theirs, rather they're providing actually established information from various official sources. However, people will try to claim that this data book is inconsistent with various of disingenuous debunks, such as they say Akira has not confirmed any of their information or material, except that's not what's stated. As it's stated, then we are going to fill in the gaps that Akira Toriyama just hasn't had the time to get scribbled down. This is just them saying that they filled in what Akira didn't have time to inform them on, and it's not like they're using their own headcanon, as they directly state they gained all their information from already pre-established official sources. They also try to say there are contradictions, as such they didn't know what the Grand Kai planet was, or that they say that King Yama's desk is as big as the solar system. However, Grand Kai's planet has little to no information on it to this day, but let alone back then. And them simply not speaking on something they didn't have information on isn't a contradiction, as it's them not inserting their own headcanon and would rather not conflict the already pre-existing canon. And if you actually read the King Yama statement, it says, "By the way, if you consider the scale difference between our universes and the next dimension, this should logically mean that King Yama's desk is bigger than the entire solar system. Eek." However, they are not saying that's literally the size of the solar system, only if we were to scale it to a 1-to-1, it would be in that scale, which is just a scaling issue on paper which doesn't always translate well. And the worst debug comes from when they discuss Birder. As they say Goku turned into a purple dinosaur, which if you actually read the actual page, it's talking about his purple comet flash technique and due to how Goku absolutely destroyed and soloed him and made him look like a purple dinosaur in comparison, which is just satire as it's literally just a joke, not literal nor is implied to be. With all this information and the debunks being reclaimed, this will make the book now viable to use. And with the validity restored of the RPG Anime Adventure Guide, in page 94 it says that the spirit bomb that Vegeta got hit by had the force equivalent to a small supernova, with average supernovas producing large star levels of energy, of course not being on the same extent but similar power to it, with the heavily weakened Vegeta being able to tank and survive this star level ranges of power, making his later feats very consistent, placing Vegeta, Goku, and even Nappa to a very low extent in these large star levels of power. With us already establishing Kid Goku's speed being 1.685 times the speed of light with a power level of 180, while in his Start of Z self having a power level of 416 or being a 2.3 times difference, which by the way it's shown that the increase of power correlates with your speed vice versa, making said Goku 3.894 times the speed of light. Now with the numerical difference between his Start of Z self and the Saiyan Saga being around a 19 times difference due to the power level difference, however this is where an exponential point in their power levels has begun, as it took him half a year or 6 months for him to get to King Kai's planet, and after his training he could just make the trip in just 2 days. The said time frame being 182.625 days, and dividing it by the time frame by 2, then we get 91.312 times faster, or said Goku would be 355.570 times the speed of light, or massively faster than the speed of light. And Vegeta having a power level of 18,000, making him 2.25 times that of that Goku, or he would be 800 times the speed of light, still in the massively faster light speed of range. And while Goku's utilizing the Kaioken times 3 technique, he would be 1040 times the speed of light, or would be in the massively faster speed of light plus levels of speed. With the only real abilities they have is their passive power nullification, which only works if they're stronger than their opponent. You see that the Saiyans are way stronger than Jin while he is way faster. So it comes down to their abilities, but as shown the Saiyans have a passive power nullification so it would just neg all of Jin's abilities. However, the one thing that Jin can do is make their bodies implode on itself with pressure points. While it's a necessary ability to power null, as rather he's just forcing one's body to implode via using your own body. If this is the case, then he could just speed blitz them and just tap their pressure point and make them implode on themselves. However, if you think that they can do something like Vegeta did to Buhan when he was inside him, then maybe they could just resist it. However, in my opinion, I think this is highly unlikely, thus this is why I think Jin would have the edge out and win. But let me know what y'all think in the comment sections below. Anyway, that's all y'all. Catch you on the next one.